What is up guys, Wraec is here with a new video, and today we got the SL45 clear with HHA. We got HHA right here, 423 mil attack at the moment, though we can fix that a little bit. Soul Gathering statue, I just remember I forgot that. So let's quickly get some soul power here on those heroes from the Fortress faction. So let's see what we can find there. We got the Finn here. That is really nice. We got that. Where is my Luna? We got her here. So she definitely needs some soul power. Then we have HHA 5308. By the way, huge attack copy over here, which is pretty nice for HHA if you want to go for that. Did I miss anybody? Where's my SFX? SFX, there we go. SS tier once again, not a whole lot more soul power because kinda low. I already set up the artifact. It is mostly crowns on everybody and the Fortune Jade Toad on the HHA. The thing we are going to check out mostly are the stun capabilities of HHA. And I believe it was it Weaponry of Valor 3? It was indeed. So now we have direct stun with the active skill when we hit the target for 3 or more times, which is cool. We steal a little bit of attack. Also not bad, kind of scales into our shield, which is good. Some extra damage when target is stunned. Then we have this part, which will allow us to protect our allies a little bit better because we grant them elegance and a shield. So even more shields from him. And then we have, of course, the interesting part, which is this effect, Mechanized Wrath. So when self-block successfully increases block by 13% for 2 random allies, so our allies get block, which is also the reason why we can't just put HHA into this team and hope that he works well, because he kind of wants to give allies his buffs, and that's what he is, and that's also why I didn't put like Spectre and all of this stuff on him, because what does it help us if we clear this with HHA when we are looking to test the buffs of HHA? So, when allies block successfully, they gain Mechanized Wrath, and this allows them to stun the enemy. That is the interesting part. Extra damage, and we have the ability to stun. So we should see a whole lot of stuns. We should see our allies stunning quite a lot. We are, however, on SL42, which is not that impressive. So I'm not quite sure. Oh, we didn't put anything on Star Alchemist Holmes Young. How did I forget Star Alchemist Holmes Young? Might be a bit overkill to run him though, if I'm honest. SSS tier, huge soul power, huge stats. I don't know. I don't know if we can run him there. Would be cool. Kind of works well with HHA. Many people, by the way, already forgot about the HHA core. HHA core used to be meta. Do you remember it? HHA core at the beginning of each battle reduces all enemies' precision by 35%, so more blocks for you. And with a 100% chance to taunt 2 enemies with the highest attack. That used to be scary. People used to roll taunt immunity on their heroes. Just want to see how that looks, honestly, on the first one. So there we go, the stun with the basic. Interesting part would be if we saw something like... That was another stun. Active skill stuns, so we got 2 stuns from that. Obviously we can't stun the boss. So that works out. He should be able to stun as well. He didn't though. There we got another stun. I'm not sure if that was from HHA or from ourselves. So we do get... nothing there. I mean, like, the block chances on the normal heroes could be a little bit bad. I thought about running HHA with Rui. The problem is, though, Mechanized Wrath, we should use the control immunity offset and the control precision of the hero that has the buff. So not the HHA in that case. It would, for example, use the chances of Star Alchemist Holmes Young. Which in general means it works better if you have a few mages there. Damage-wise, not bad. Not bad. Is this HHA out-damaging our Star Alchemist Holmes Young? It felt a little bit like it. It wasn't the case. Star Alchemist Holmes Young quickly sneaking in a few hits. I would say we try it now with like a little bit more of a Transcendence hero lineup, I would say. Maybe not the Madeline at first. Madeline kinda OP, I would say. We got the Finn in there. He survived fairly well. I mean, the Sherlock is also not a bad choice. Not at all. We could get Flame Strike. Ooh, let's go, Flame Strike. S tier. Okay, so now we got a few crowns in there. I mean, they do have to attack us. If we kind of CC them immediately, that Flame Strike really didn't last too long. If we CC them immediately, that won't really do well for us. But we do get the stuns here. You can see that we do get a proper CC chain. Those enemies don't really stand a chance. Luna taking off the defenses there, and Finn doing the most damage. I wouldn't have seen that, honestly. I think we can skip like this level, like do a few skip battles. Does Finn consistently do that? Finn consistently keeping the highest damage. I mean, he has the highest damage potential. From those heroes, like he has the skills for that. Boss fight, let's check that out. If we put Madeline in that, it's all over. It's all over. Block values would be interesting. I haven't really checked how well that works out for us. Shield regeneration. Shield regeneration is definitely there, so we do get the shields. Full shield. Kept out the shield on the Flame Strike there as well. And by the way, heroes do have like an innate shield cap, so they can't get infinite amounts of shield. So that's why sometimes the bar fills up so quickly when you have a scenario where, for example, you have a Flame Strike over here and a Transcendence hero granting the shield, which obviously will be higher stats, granting a shield to a lower stat hero, and thus we get a huge shield here. So, but we got full shields fairly quickly. So that was very fancy. SFX also doing well. I kind of want to do an SFX video now. So the stuns do come in. Not bad. I think when the enemies have like a little bit higher stats, like from maybe SL45, it will be a bit better. Obviously, it doesn't really help you like initially. You need to take a few hits to really get the buff to the allies. And you can't really see who has the buff. I guess that's another disadvantage. But we have stun over stun over stun on the enemies here. So that overall works out fairly well. Then again, you get like the hits from the Finn here, for example, where you just get no stuns at all. But having being able to stun with an active skill from SFX like right there, that's cool. Question is, how does this fare in PvP? Like, it's a pretty easy requirement to fulfill. Just block, get the buff, easy, and then start stunning with everything essentially. So that's not bad. That's really not bad. Fewer enemies, of course, in PvP rolling for control immunity, and if they have like the S-tier heroes also for stun immunity, not really because of HHA being super scary, but because of Wukong, obviously. So that's another stun hero right there. So it's kind of sad, honestly. It would be nice if it was something less common, something like freeze or something like that. That would be really nice. 34 damage here in total from the Flame Strike. Yeah, okay. Well, that is not really a whole lot. That is really not a whole lot. Do we want to do anything else? I kind of feel like we stick with it. I kind of don't want to put the Madeline in there, because that would delete the enemies absolutely with a Nova Star Soul on there. So yeah, basically gets no stuns there. You get the counter-attack stuns. So we have one right there. Obviously that's not bad. If we were to put Rui, we probably would have the enemies stunned by that. But then on the next turn, when we are faster, look at that. Full stun right there. Yeah, that's pretty good. I think the Mechanized Wrath treasure is really one of the best. And I also like the pink one. Because we got some very good stuns from that as well. It is not super consistent. That is the thing, but I expected this. Do you know why I expected this? I expected this because this is a warrior doing the stunts. If we were to talk about the pink treasure, then this is a warrior doing the stunts, and warriors have a disadvantage. They do not have the proper stats to do that. So if we go into the treasure bonus right here, we have a ton of stats for warriors, but really not a whole lot of CI offset. They started putting some of those more towards the other classes as well, but I don't even think they did it for warrior. If we go for mage, we have some very much so more fitting stuff. We have, look at that, control immunity, offset. We have even damage against stunned enemies here, which is kind of fancy. And and all damage reduction. And then if you go and check out these the star spawns, which are really the main source here, they grant this to all, but they obviously grant the stat bonus for mages. So we have 21% for everybody, but we got over 30% here for mages, and we have the same thing going on with this guy who also has Abyss and Mage. So there we got another big chunk of control immunity offset. That just leads to mages doing way better with CC than something like an HHA. If we were to kind of improve that though, I mean, we can check out the Weaponry of Valor series once again. We check this out. It's 55% chance, so not very great actually. It's not a huge chance. It gets upgraded obviously, and at the end it's 100%. I have to say, right now even with big whaling 5-star is kind of unrealistic. It's just so expensive. Because those treasures right here, it's not like they go, you get them 1 time, then they are 1-star, you get them 2 times, they're 2-star, and etc, etc, etc. So 5 times till 5-star, that is not the case. Those are normal treasures. In fact, I upgraded the ones for Wukong, which I have to search now. I don't really know where they are, if I'm honest. Those are not the ones for Wukong, those are the ones for Oscar, where we got 3 stars. 3 star is achievable. If you want to go beyond 3-star, like here, you can see it's 3-star plus 2. That is an additional one. It brings you to plus 2. Doesn't grant you anything extra right here. It gives you a few extra stats. And you can imagine how many you need to really upgrade that. And basically, to get 1 full set is an extra 100 USD on the release event. So that's crazy. So you don't really get to the point where you have those easily available at 5-star right now. Eventually, I assume they're going to change the system from which you get those treasures. And then it's going to be easier to do that. And then you can fix the major issue that we have right here with the stun chances on the active skill. Because this is just like at 55%, that is really, really low, and upgrading to 100% is a major, major jump. We can also do that by kind of doing a little test and switching the artifact, and just putting the Fortune Jade Toad away. I'm pretty sure you can still survive, and we just put Dragon Rui. And Dragon Rui will provide us with 67% control precision, and we have the control immunity offset and everything. So essentially, we're getting pretty close to the 100% chance with that, and that should help us CC even more. You could obviously fix it in another way too. You could get like obviously an awakening bonus stat, which isn't too efficient to the extent that we have like Rui with 67%. You won't quite get the same, but you can see we got like 2 stuns here. I think you have to also incorporate that the condition that we have to meet to CC those enemies is also to hit them 3 times. So it also kind of depends on the amount of hits that we achieve. And with the Dragon Rui, we are obviously a lot more squishy. You can see HHA definitely taking a few big chunks taken out of his health here. So that is not very nice, and we obviously don't want it to die. But he is now on 0 unbending will layers. That means as soon as the boss is going to hit him, we are going to be in a world of pain. Beautiful, beautiful hit here. And not a whole lot of damage. Like, you would have maybe assumed that with the further attack steal would come a lot more damage, but really is not the case. So, in terms of damage, still pretty useless. I think the point with HHA being a good damage dealer, that is still mostly a rumor from the beginning times, when people somehow assumed this was a damage dealer. Back in ancient times, when he was released. That was really a time when people said, oh, he will do big damage, because he had like some numbers and a little bit of a text here, and people compared that to LFA. I don't know. Somebody did a bad video. I don't even remember who it was. Somebody did a bad video. And yeah, ended with this rumor, which isn't all too great. So let's see what we can do on the last stage here. So far, our team of no Nirvana heroes has not sufficiently been challenged. And the CC that we inflict, especially starting from turn 2, yeah, that is really nice. We have a lot of stun here, and I really like it. Sometimes I have to say it is kind of an interesting dynamic. We seem to run out of the buff. Can that be the case? I have to check the duration maybe after we clear this. Maybe we look after the stage one more time. At the duration, we have full stun right here. But we are able to stun very consistently with that, which brings its own problems here. I think it was only 2 turns. Not quite sure, but I think it was only 2 turns that we actually have the buff. Big chunks here. Really big chunks from Finn. Let's go. Okay, we got the clear. Again, same damage dynamic as always. Let's quickly check the buff duration again for the Mechanized Wrath. So we got that, and I think it was this one. Grants the ally Mechanized Wrath for 2 rounds. So that's essentially after the enemy attacks for the rest of the round, and then for the next one. So if you are faster than the enemy and the enemy attacks, you only really have it and can use it on the next round. If you then fully CC the enemy, you don't have it on the next round, because the enemy won't attack. So that is, I mean, inherently kind of a problem. So if you don't get hit, you just don't get the buff. And even though the requirement for getting the buff, just blocking 1 time, is very easy, it still will end up with us like basically attacking, stunning everybody, and then just not having the buff. So on the first round, obviously we don't have it. So right now we don't have it. We attack, we hit, okay, cool, we got 1 stun already. This was, I think, a full team hit, though the SFX dodge. Now she blocked, and now we basically have that. So now it's turn 2. We stunned everybody, but on this turn the enemies won't attack. They won't be able to attack right now. So now we have turn 3, they are still stunned, but we didn't get the buff. So right now none of my heroes really have the buff, which means all of our attacks, as we can see right now, they don't stun. Because we ran out of the buff. Now we basically get the buff back and are able to hit again. I think this is more of a PvE problem than a PvP problem. In PvP, I doubt we can CC the enemies so consistently that we keep them CC throughout the round without immediately winning the fight, essentially. SFX doing a catch-up here. Very cool. Without immediately winning the fight. So, I doubt this is going to be the case, by the way. I want to see Madeline 1 fight here. We do a little bit of a swap, like that. And then let's see what happens. So, I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem there. But in PvE, it's a little bit annoying. And if you combine it with like full CC heroes like TBB, in Void Campaign, there's almost no use to it because the enemy won't really break out, so you will never have the Mechanized Wrath. I could see it for PvP though. Like, I'm not too sure which kind of team I want to run. It feels a little bit more sustainy almost. Because you often play burst and then you just burst down the enemy and then, well, it doesn't really matter. He probably won't attack you. But I could see myself liking this. The idea of just having the HHA core again, which is always a good core. People no longer playing around it because they are no longer like concerned with it really. And then just going ahead, putting a Wukong in the team, doing a little bit of CC there, getting on my Mechanized Wrath. Yeah, I could like that. I could like that. Last fight, let's see. And then we're going to do a little bit of PvP, I think. I didn't set up a team yet. ladies and gentlemen. I'm also not too sure. I mean, Madeline, HHA, Striker Miss Tom Young seems like a good plan. Plugging Wukong on top. Little bit of LBRM. Probably not PDE because we don't want the dodge. Yeah. So, definitely a nice update here with the stun. So we can say that is pretty cool. That is a pretty cool upgrade for HHA, but I don't know if it immediately shifts him into the meta. I wouldn't play him in Void Campaign. I'll be honest, I wouldn't play him in Void Campaign. Enough sources of stun there. Sources of stun there that don't require you to be hit like Wukong. Sources of other CC, you can go with TBB, so that is a lot easier. The attack drain won't really do a whole lot for you and won't make him a good damage dealer. We can see it right there. You can use Finn apparently and have a way easier time. But the question is, so what do we even want to run? So let's attack. Can we attack Anarchy? He has a pretty strong team. I don't know if we can beat that with some random BS setup team that I have right here. Okay, no artifacts so far. Is that enough to beat him? So we go like this. We wanted to go HHA. Striker Miss Tom's Young. Okay, LBM has like no buffs on her. Which sucks a little bit. Oh no, you stay in there. So what do we do? I want to do cool stuff. I'm not sure what we are going to do. Debuffs? Ooh, oh. He should be lowest HP. That is very cool. Doing the ATD to give him glorious protection. Then doing core liberation. I doubt we can win. But it will look cool. So, we didn't get any taunt. We didn't get any taunt. That is horrible. But he did get the glorious protection. Do you see that? That's cool. We annihilated kind of half the enemy team already with an instant Wukong passive, which obviously doesn't count to give us Mechanized Wrath. I'm not sure we even at any point got the buff. And we don't have any animation for that. It would be cool to get it, but I don't even think we got attacked by any enemy. I think we just got hit with passive skills, which really don't count as a hit that we can block. So, yeah. I wonder if Divine Block would work into that. If Divine Block could make you block passives, that could be interesting. I haven't really tested a lot of Divine Block. I know at some point it stopped working, it wasn't really cool. Okay, 0 artifact win against Anarchy, which was pretty cool. HHA didn't do anything, ladies and gentlemen. I want to try one more time, because I want to see if he can taunt. No. 0 taunt. Let's try again. Wait, did I forget to set up the core? Was I dumb? No, I wasn't. It should proc. Unless he's taunt immune. Which I assume he isn't. Ah, there we go. Actually countered IEA. That would work to counter his IEA. So when this IEA dies, you will only hit the HHA. Yeah, people don't play around it anymore. They build for huge IEA. They build for huge IEA. And then they get hugely countered. You see that? They only hit the HHA. Didn't do anything. Yeah. The only problem is that the control immunity got a whole lot higher, and this guy didn't really make up for it by getting a tall enough control immunity offset. Ooh, we got a dazzle there. That's interesting that we can counter with that. This wins surprisingly well against this team. And keep in mind we've like, what do we have on them? I don't even know if we have proper artifacts. I think a few snow arts are in play. We have no soul power. So that works well. I mean, it's kind of punching down a little bit. But I think this number is deceiving. I think this number is still a little bit wrong. Because, like, I don't have anybody that I can fight that would even be remotely close to the power I have, like, even with a team like this. And there's no soul power on there. And Darth Maul has higher train than me. So there's soul power on a few of those heroes, but on most there isn't, and he has higher train than me. So I doubt the numbers are correct. I doubt the numbers are correct. But I get this as criticism always from the videos. That people say, he's fighting somebody that has like a third of his power. There's literally no power displayed on anybody that is even remotely close to that. I doubt it's because those guys are also weak. I think it's just that the power is just like wrong. That's shown there. Yeah, so now we could, in theory, have the Mechanized Wrath buff. We, in practice, only have 2/3 of a team, and now we have 0 team. Twine immunity would have been nice. Oh, wait. Can we, does he have huge TBB? Can we taunt? That would be funny. Yes! We can! And we can dazzle. Taunt and dazzle at the same time. The taunt, by the way, overrides. So it only counts the taunt, not the dazzle. She will always hit the HHA. Just kind of fancy. So now we do get stuns. Double CC TBB not working too well for him. New Oscar SSS tier copy doing a little hit there. As I said, no soul power on that. Let's see. It's just Wukong doing all the damage. That's insane. Wukong is always so insane. It's not, it's kind of always a thought for me that I think about like going X on a Wukong. There was one I could buy though. I didn't. I think it's kind of uninteresting. ATD survived, but then got bodied by Finn. So yeah, no soul power doesn't work well for us. I don't know if the HHA stun really helped a whole lot. I'm not sure. I think without the HHA, this fight could have gone a little bit better. So I'm not super hyped for him. His stun works. It's just not the right place and time for it. I feel like his core could be a little bit stronger. I guess if we did a reroll, we have twine immunity on him. Oh, that's why I didn't get twined. Because the last time I played him was during TBB times. That is fancy. I think if we got a little bit more of CI offset, maybe control preg on him, threw him in there, then the fight must be right. If we have a fight where we can push into the enemy and like do a whole lot of harm immediately, I'm not too sure if he's the one that you want, ideally. I think there could still be better choices for that. And you're probably going to run TBB instead of him in Void Campaign. So there are scenarios where you want to have CC and then you run TBB and Wukong, or where you don't want CC and then you would definitely not run HHA. So that's the thing. If we slow down the meta, could it be interesting to have CC on every single hero? Obviously. And then you have shield gain from HHA 2, so that's not bad. I think they put him in an interesting spot. It's just not a meta spot. That's probably what we can say. Put him in an interesting spot. It's just not meta. Is he better than before? Yes, definitely. Should you go for it and get chests for him and unlock it if you missed the release event or didn't spend on the release event? I'm not even sure. Did you have to spend on the release event to get this one? You either got ATD if you had the summons or the awakenings, or you got him. Not sure. Either one. But I don't. He's the one that you're going for. You're probably going to go for Wukong, even though mechanically his treasures are more interesting. So, that being said, I have to once again point out we're still running the 100k Starry Gem giveaway over on SG Hub. You can head on down to the description. There is a link to my Discord server and there is a link to SG Hub. You want to choose the link to SG Hub, get on the Discord server, scroll down on the first channel, hit the button to get your role as a member, and then you want to go into the SG giveaway channel. And then you only have to click on the button. And if you're still unsure how to do it, I have a whole video on my channel on this SG giveaway showing you how to do it. And it will be very easy. You can win 20,000 Starry Gems. 5 people, in fact, will win 20,000 Starry Gems. So that's in total 100k. Till then, there's also a discount on Starry Gem if you want to go through Stripe. Stripe, great payment method. You don't even need an account there at Stripe to pay via Stripe. You can just use Google Pay, Apple Pay, or credit card, which you probably have when you ever spent on idle heroes. So that's a very easy way to get your Starry Gems immediately, which is great. So won't take a long time. We are doing our best there to complete all the orders as fast as possible, unless of course I'm asleep or recording a video, which can happen. So let you guys know that. And yeah, hit that subscribe button if you don't want to miss any video. And with that, I wish you a great day. We'll see us in the next one.